Jawaharlal Nehru was born into privilege. The year was 1889. His birthplace was Allahabad, a city in northern India. His father, Motilal Nehru, was a successful lawyer and a prominent figure in the Indian National Congress. This was one of the leading political parties fighting for India's independence from British rule. Young Jawaharlal grew up in a world of books, ideas, and political discussions. Nehru's family belonged to the Kashmiri Pandit community, known for its intellectual prowess. His upbringing instilled in him a love for learning and a strong sense of social responsibility. Education was highly valued in the Nehru household. Jawaharlal received the finest education available at the time. At the age of 15, he was sent to England to study at Harrow School, a prestigious boarding school. Later, he went on to Cambridge University, where he earned a degree in natural sciences. His time in England exposed him to Western thought, literature, and political systems. While Nehru admired aspects of British society, he also became increasingly aware of the injustices faced by his own people under colonial rule. The seeds of nationalism were sown during his student days in England. He would carry these ideas with him for the rest of his life. Nehru's time in England was transformative. He witnessed firsthand the workings of a democratic society. He was exposed to ideas of individual liberty, freedom of speech, and the rule of law. These experiences left a deep impression on him. He began to question the legitimacy of British rule in India. How could a nation be considered civilized while denying basic rights to its colonial subjects? He felt a growing sense of injustice. He realized that India deserved self-determination. Nehru returned to India in 1912. He was a changed man. He was no longer content with the life of privilege he had known before. He felt a strong pull towards public service. He wanted to work for the betterment of his people. He joined the Indian National Congress in 1919. The party was gaining momentum in its struggle for independence. Nehru's intellect, charisma, and passion for social justice quickly made him a rising star within the party ranks. The year 1919 was a turning point in India's struggle for independence. The Jallianwala Bagh massacre, in which British troops opened fire on unarmed civilians, shook the nation to its core. Nehru, like many others, was deeply affected by this tragedy. He became a staunch advocate for complete independence from British rule. He worked closely with Mahatma Gandhi, the charismatic leader who championed the philosophy of non-violent resistance, or satyagraha. Nehru participated in numerous civil disobedience movements. He faced imprisonment multiple times for his beliefs, but his spirit remained unbroken. He used his time in prison to read, write, and reflect on the future of India. His commitment to the cause of freedom never wavered. He emerged from prison each time with even greater determination to see India free from colonial rule. His sacrifices and unwavering commitment made him a symbol of hope and inspiration for millions of Indians. In 1947, India finally achieved its long-cherished dream of independence. It was a moment of great joy and celebration, but it was also a time of immense challenges. The nation was partitioned, leading to widespread violence and displacement. Jawaharlal Nehru became India's first Prime Minister. He shouldered the enormous responsibility of leading a newly independent nation through these turbulent times. He was tasked with healing the wounds of partition and building a new India from the ground up. Nehru's vision for India was ambitious and far-reaching. He believed in a modern, democratic and secular state. He envisioned an India where all citizens, regardless of their religion, caste or creed, would have equal opportunities. He set about building institutions that would strengthen India's democracy. He laid the foundation for a secular state, ensuring that people of all faiths could live together in harmony. He believed that India's diversity was its strength, not its weakness. The Nehruvian vision, industrialization and progress. Nehru understood that for India to progress, it needed to develop a strong industrial base. He believed in the power of science and technology to transform India's economy and improve the lives of its people. He launched a series of 5-year plans that focused on industrial growth, agricultural development, and social reform. He established public sector undertakings in key industries such as steel, energy, and transportation. He recognized the importance of scientific research and education. He played a pivotal role in the establishment of institutions like the Indian Institutes of Technology, or IITs, and the Indian Institutes of Management, or IIUMs. Nehru's vision for India was not limited to economic progress alone. He believed that true development must encompass social justice and equality for all. Champion of social justice, Nehru was a passionate advocate for social justice. He believed that India could not truly progress unless it addressed the deep-rooted inequalities that plagued its society. He fought against the caste system, untouchability, and other forms of discrimination. He introduced legislation to improve the lives of women. He championed the Hindu Code Bill, which granted women greater rights in matters of inheritance and property. He believed in the power of education to empower the masses. He prioritized universal primary education and worked to expand access to higher education for all sections of society. Nehru's commitment to social justice stemmed from his deep-rooted belief in the equality of all human beings. He saw it as the moral imperative of a free and independent India to create a just and equitable society for all its citizens. Navigating a divided world. The post-World War II era was a time of great geopolitical tension. The world was divided into two opposing blocs, each with its own ideology and alliances. Nehru, however, charted a different course for India. He advocated for a policy of non-alignment. He believed that India should not align itself with either superpower, but should instead maintain its independence and work towards global peace and disarmament. He played a key role in the formation of the non-aligned movement, a group of countries that sought to remain independent of the Cold War rivalry. This movement gave a voice to newly independent nations and advocated for a more just and equitable world order. Nehru's foreign policy was guided by his belief in peaceful coexistence and international cooperation. He sought to build bridges between nations and promote dialogue as a means of resolving conflicts. Beyond his political career, Nehru was also a prolific writer and thinker. He penned numerous books and articles on a wide range of subjects, including history, politics, and culture. His writings provide valuable insights into his mind and his vision for India. His autobiography, Toward Freedom, is considered a classic of Indian literature. It offers a personal and insightful account of his life and his journey in the Indian independence movement. His book, The Discovery of India, written during his imprisonment, explores India's rich history and cultural heritage. It reflects his deep love for his country and his understanding of its complexities. Nehru's writings continue to be read and debated even today. They offer a window into the mind of one of the most influential figures of the 20th century. They provide valuable insights into the making of modern India and the challenges it faced in its early years of independence. Nehru's tenure as Prime Minister was not without its challenges. He faced criticism from both within his own party and from the opposition. He was accused of being too idealistic, too westernized, and too trusting of China. The 1962 war with China came as a major setback for Nehru and his government. It led to questions about his foreign policy and his handling of the border dispute. Despite the criticisms and challenges, Nehru never lost faith in his vision for India. He continued to work tirelessly for the betterment of his people until his death in 1964. He left behind a legacy that continues to shape India today. He is remembered as the architect of modern India, the man who laid the foundation for a democratic, secular, and progressive nation. Jawaharlal Nehru's legacy is complex and multifaceted. He is revered by many as the father of modern India, the visionary leader who guided the nation through its early years of independence. He is credited with building institutions that have stood the test of time. His emphasis on education, science, and technology laid the foundation for India's economic growth in later years. His commitment to social justice continues to inspire generations of Indians working to create a more equitable society. Nehru's foreign policy, though criticized at times, laid the groundwork for India's role as a leading voice in the developing world. His vision of a non-aligned India, free to chart its own course in world affairs, continues to resonate even today. Jawaharlal Nehru's India was a nation in the making. It was a nation grappling with the legacy of colonialism, the trauma of partition, and the challenges of building a new society from the ground up. Nehru, with his unwavering belief in the power of democracy, secularism, and social justice, provided the leadership that India needed during those formative years. His vision, though not without its flaws, laid the foundation for the India we see today. As India continues its journey as a nation, it does so with the legacy of Nehru's leadership. His ideals continue to inspire and guide generations of Indians striving to build a better future for themselves and their country.